Why are so many people leaving Washington, D.C. right now? Because when you really break down the numbers and what people are experiencing day to day, the difference between D.C. and Northern Virginia is bigger than most people realize. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's driving that shift, including cost, space, schools, and what's happening in D.C. right now. I'm Celeste, a Northern Virginia realtor, and I help people figure out where to live in this area, especially if you're relocating or trying to decide between city life and the suburbs. And I'll be sharing real data along the way so you can understand what's going on in this market. All right, let's get to it. Let's start with the biggest driver, cost of living. And I want to break this down in a really simple way because this is where it really clicks for most people. In DC, in that $500,000 price range, you're typically paying around $500 to $600 plus per square foot, sometimes even higher depending on the neighborhood. Now compare that to Northern Virginia. In places like Leesburg or Ashburn, you're often closer to $300 to $325 per square foot. Even in Fairfax County, so closer to DC, you're still around $380 to $400 per square foot. So when you really look at it, that's about a 30 to 50% difference in price per square foot. And that's huge because what that actually means in real life is same budget, completely different lifestyle. In DC, $500,000 might get you a smaller condo, limited space, maybe no parking. And in Northern Virginia, that same budget could get you a townhouse, multiple levels, a garage, sometimes even a yard. It's not that Northern Virginia is cheap, it's that the value makes a lot more sense for a lot of people. Now let's talk about what's actually happening, because this isn't just perception. During the pandemic alone, DC lost about 20,000 residents in a single year. And even now, population growth has slowed to around 0.3%, which is extremely low. And here's the key. Most of that growth is coming from international migration, not people moving from other parts of the US. So domestically, people are still leaving, and a lot of them are coming right here to Northern Virginia. Now let's talk about something that's coming up more and more in conversations, and I'm going to be very direct about it. A lot of people are paying attention to what's happening in DC right now when it comes to crime, homelessness, and how the city is being managed. And you're hearing things, whether it's in the news, online, on social media, about stronger enforcement efforts to clean things up and changes in approach. I'm not here to debate politics, but I am here to tell you what buyers are saying. And what buyers are saying is they're paying attention and it's affecting how they feel. And I've even had people ask me, is there a curfew in DC right now? The answer is no, there's no ongoing curfew. But the fact that people are even asking that question tells you something. There's a perception out there about safety and what's happening in the city. And in real estate, perception matters just as much as reality. What I'm seeing with clients is this: they want to feel safe. They want stability. They want to feel confident about where they're investing their money. And when there's uncertainty, people start looking at other options. And for a lot of buyers, it comes down to this: if I'm spending serious money, I want to feel really good about where I live. And if they don't feel that way about DC, Northern Virginia becomes a very obvious choice. Northern Virginia growth and the numbers back that up. Northern Virginia has added over 300,000 people in the last decade. And today, the population is around 2.6 million people. And we're even seeing explosive growth in certain suburban areas. One suburb near DC, it's Woodbridge, saw growth of over 800% in just a few years. So this is a major shift, not a small trend. And a big part of that shift comes down to lifestyle. People want more space, home offices, extra bedrooms, outdoor space, room for pets or kids. And when you combine that with paying less per square foot, you can actually get that lifestyle in Northern Virginia. And I hear this all the time after clients move. I didn't realize how much I needed this space. Another huge factor is remote work. Once people stopped commuting into DC 5 days a week, everything changed. Now, people are thinking, if I only have to go in a couple days a week, I'd rather have more space and a better quality of life. And another factor, especially for families, is peace of mind. Many buyers are looking for lower density, quieter neighborhoods, more space between homes, and ultimately, they just want to feel comfortable where they live. And then we have one of the biggest reasons families make this move, and that's schools. And I'm going to keep this very real because this is exactly how my clients think about it. Let's start with Northern Virginia. Fairfax County Public Schools are consistently ranked among the top school districts in the country. You'll see that on sites like US News and World Report and niche.com. Loudoun County Public Schools also perform really well with strong academic outcomes and college readiness, backed by data from the Virginia Department of Education. Graduation rates in both Fairfax and Loudoun County are typically around 90% or higher, according to state data. Now, when you look at Washington, D.C. public schools, it's more mixed. There are some excellent schools, but overall performance varies depending on the neighborhood. Graduation rates in D.C. are generally closer to 70 to 75% range based on the DC schools. And this is what I hear from clients all the time, especially relocators. They say, we don't want to have to figure out the perfect school zone. We just want consistency. And that's where Northern Virginia stands out. Now, to be fair, DC still offers things Northern Virginia doesn't, like walkability, nightlife, restaurants, culture. So it really comes down to your lifestyle. You want city energy or space and comfort. So I'm curious, what would you choose? DC or Northern Virginia? Drop it in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts about this. And if you're thinking about making a move, reach out. I would love to help you figure out the right area. My phone number is at the bottom of the screen, so text me anytime. Thanks so much for watching, and remember, where you live really does impact your everyday life. I'll see you in the next one.